We hosted an immigration forum at our headquarters on March 20th and invited specific residents who had expressed that this issue was a key concern of theirs.
During our campaign exercise, we were told by many constituents that their major concern is the influx of illegal immigrants. Thus, the reason for this special gathering tonight.
So we want to begin a dialogue on, as Ms. Davis said, beginning tonight on the issue of immigration. The second objective of this evening's event is to demonstrate to members of the Carmichael community the kind of representative that I would like to be when I'm elected. We do live in a representative democracy, and that means that the representative ought to be engaged with members of the community. I ought to know what you think, and I'm happy that persons come together and are prepared to express their points of view. We ought to be able to engage in meaningful discourse. We don't all agree on all aspects of any particular issue, but I think our country is stronger when we could come together, have a vibrant discussion, hopefully arrive at a meeting of the minds, and then ultimately settle on what ought to be the most workable, fair public policy.
The first issue to emerge was that of shanty towns in the area.
My pet peeve is the unsanitary condition that we now face in the Cowpen Road area. I've watched the area grow from just bush. Then you had your individuals coming down, and within the last 5 years, I have seen the illegal immigration problem on Cowpen Road West escalate to a phenomenal number, whereby directly across from my home, we now have a Haitian village. It seems as if, I think that Mackey Yard burnt down last year sometime, and after Mackey Yard burnt, it seems as if or the majority of those Haitians living in the Mackey Yard area, it just shifted south, and it's now a whole community, unsanitary living conditions. If you would walk through the little village, they have drains dug in the ground, whereby all their fecal matter they put down in these drains. And if it rains, it's fine. But when the sun comes up, you need to screw down all of your windows. It is atrocious. I have no problems with whether it's Chinese, Jamaican, Haitians. Once you come here legally, it's fine. But do not come here and lower the standard, the living conditions that we're used to.
Do we need to be tougher?
Yes.
Are you, and does your sense of toughness extend to you are comfortable with the Ministry of Immigration, or more directly the Department of Immigration, simply going and taking a bulldozer?
I cannot speak for anybody else, but I will hold the key for the tractor. I've seen it happen on Cowpen Road, whereby it was a little shanty town, and the owner of the property, she advised them and said, well, okay, we're coming here next month. If you all of them were there without permission. But we're coming, please gather your stuff. We're coming to reclaim our property. They thought the woman was joking. That Sunday, all I saw was Haitians running and roof going up in the air because she forewarned them. Now, we need to do it in a humane manner, okay? Advise them, let them know, if you're here illegally, we give you an opportunity, whereby I think one of the directors of immigration did. If you're here illegally, you know, pack up and go home. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, do you think people take him seriously when he says that?
No.
Is no one's, because...
It's been going on so long.
Right. What would be the number in your estimation that's at that shanty town across the street from you?
We have about 200 people there. They have a restaurant, barber shop, a church, and you might as well say a bank in the back there.
Overcrowding of schools was also a concern.
I have seen Darron Cash. First it was only Carmichael Primary. Because of the overrun of Haitian attending that school, they decided to build 2 more schools. And within I guess 5 years, they built, because I remember them coming to my home, they wanted to find out, because I was living in the area, if I was a Bahamian or not. If my child had a passport, and I said yes. And that school, I think, was the one with Valentine's Primary. They decided to, because Darron Cash couldn't take it no more, because there was overrun again.
If you're not a Bahamian, you shouldn't have children in the school. There's no way. If you're not a Bahamian, how can your child be enrolled in the system?
So they ought to be the ones who send the children to private schools.
They should be the one, in my opinion.
That's right. And then
The Bahamians should have that privilege and right to be able to benefit from the system.
I have a sister-in-law that teaches at Darron Cash Primary at this present time. She has a grade 3 class, and she said out of the grade 3, she might have about 20, maybe if it's that much Bahamian, the rest of them are Haitian.
How many in grade 3?
It's about, it was about either 40, almost 40 students in a class.
Anatole Rogers, another pet peeve. At one point, I said, okay, well, I'll take my daughter out of one school and put an Anatole. I could almost take up a stone and throw it on the top of Anatole's roof. You know what I was told? There is, quote unquote, no space for her. Whereas you have all of these other people, their children are in the school. I am a Bahamian. I should never, ever be turned away from any school.
A bigger problem may be with Bahamians.
We don't really have a Haitian problem. We have a Bahamian problem. When you look around, from the time I was a little boy, when I first came to Nassau 40 years ago, we were talking about illegal immigrants. I remember in the late 60s, a boat being wrecked in South Andres, bunch of Haitians coming ashore. And it still bugs me that today, a boat could leave Port-au-Prince right today, steaming with fair wind and following seas, 6 knots. And we don't know that they are on their way until they land on Montague, come up all of our chain of islands, and not until they land on Montague or South Beach, we find out that they're here. And as long as we do not take law enforcement serious, the average Bahamian, they want you to send back every Haitian except my Haitian. You know, and so all of us have a part to play in this. Like Ms. Finley said, we all got to start saying we're not going to tolerate, we're not going to hire them.
Recently, in the last 10 days, I had to use powers until I was called Hitler. 7 Haitians who are not Bahamian. I gave the persons 1 hour to get them off the stall. If not, the police and immigration was coming. And I was determined. Again, a lot of the immigration problem come from the Bahamian. We tend to cloak for some, maybe money, to do things for us or whatever else. We as Bahamian, you find a lot of us don't want to do the low job. We don't want to clean houses, we don't want to weed, we don't want to clean windows. So the Haitian believe they should be here to cut the grass, clean the windows, blah, blah, blah. Some time ago I spoke to the Prime Minister and I told him, I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I want you to sit down with me because I have something in mind to do. I said, you have Jamaicans And you have Haitian coming to this country by the hundreds, doing housework. I am an executive housekeeper by profession. I want to train Bahamian young women how to clean and keep house, make up beds, and they can work. I have a Jamaican I had for 11 years who has a permit in my name. Every Saturday she come to me, she makes $60, and all she do is clean. She don't wash, she don't do nothing else. And if she come another day, she gets $60 to iron. All the money we're paying it out to go to Jamaica and Haiti.
That's right.
So my view on it, I have a Haitian guy who's my handyman and gardener. I had him for 24 years. And he has a permit. I don't believe in illegal things, and I ain't going with nobody who doing illegal things. But we as a people, we got to step up to the plate.